So you've probably been in this situation before. It's a Monday morning and people are just coming into work. A meeting is called. All of you enter into the conference room. All of you take your seats and the boss comes in and writes, or maybe just presents on a PowerPoint slide, or simply announces that a new goal has been set. A new target has been set by upper management that needs to be reached. What happens next? Well, what usually happens is once that target is set, most authorities, most managers, most of whom we call leaders, most of these people just start by explaining their roadmap for getting there. They explain what needs to be done, who needs to do what tasks need to be accomplished, by when, and then it's meeting adjourned. And then everyone has their deadlines, everyone has their tasks, and you either accomplish those tasks by a certain time, hopefully earlier, or you don't, and you eventually get laid off. Now, how do we get to this point? How do we get to this point where corporate environments are structured in a way where people are just treated like tools, instruments, designed to perform tasks that are preset, and if those tasks aren't accomplished in an efficient manner, in a timely manner, these tools, these instruments are just thrown away in favor of a more efficient tool, a more efficient instrument. Think about the typical classroom. Think about a lively classroom environment. What happens in those environments? You have a teacher, of course, and then you have a bunch of students. What usually happens in those environments, and what usually sparks learning amongst students in these environments, is dialogue, is discussion. What is discussion? Discussion is when people feel like they can share their ideas, when people feel like they can be heard. And you probably, if you've been in a classroom environment where you've had a great teacher, you've probably been in those environments where there's this teacher writing on the board, the topic of discussion is set, and then the teacher just simply starts asking questions. It's a question-driven discovery, and students raise their hands up. They raise their hands up, and then they just start engaging with the teacher. And sometimes they engage with their peers. And then at the end of it all, the teacher summarizes all that has been said and then gives his or her take on the subject. You see this in most effective leaders. When they enter into meetings, although there's an agenda, they don't speak first. They ask questions. They allow people to provide their suggestions. And that makes everyone feel much better. That creates a better tone for the organization. The organization has now a tone of collaboration. What does collaboration actually mean? Collaboration means when ideas from all sides are accepted, are thought about. There is no leader dictating the ideas that have to be followed and that don't have to be followed. And people, as a result, no longer feel like tools and instruments. They don't feel like automatons. They don't feel like just executioners of ideas. No, they actually feel like they can contribute. And this is so important, especially in large organizations, because the people in your organization probably know better than you on what to do. And that was because they were hired for these roles. Assuming you did hiring correctly, you hired these people because they were most qualified for the job you're hiring them for. So why invade into their ability to make the right decisions, to make the right judgments, to have the courage to make the right decisions? Why invade into that space by making those decisions for them? Why not instead ask yourself, what if I just asked them what needed to be done to reach a certain goal? What if I asked them for help? What if I said, as a leader, I don't know. Do you have any ideas? Imagine how much better that meeting would go. Instead of you just dictating what needs to be done, probably not in the most efficient way possible because you're not on the front lines. Imagine how much more of a tribe you would feel. Imagine how much better you would feel and how much better you would make others feel. They would feel like that they actually have a voice. They can voice their ideas. They can say things like, oh, I have this crazy idea. I don't know if it'll work or not. And then you might learn something as well. And they feel heard. Sure, there might be costs. There might be mistakes. Let's say you entertain an idea that doesn't work. But at least you helped protect the ability for people to think that they can make the right decisions on their own, so that when they are in positions where they have to make the right decisions without your presence, they can, because they feel trusted. That's what it means to be a leader. That's one facet of what it means to be a leader. It's to be able to cultivate this ability for people to feel like they're trusted so they can make the right decisions in your absence, using their judgment because they feel that you trust them and they feel that they can make mistakes and still be able to recover from them because they feel like you would understand and you would help them through whatever mistakes they make, and they will therefore stick with you. And that is because you as a leader successfully showed that you care for your people, and as a result, they will care for you as well. So that's just one aspect of what I think leadership is about. It's about being able to give people the ability to make the right decisions on their own. Of course, there's a lot that goes into how you can create that within an organization. There's setting the tone of an organization, which is what Simon Sinek talks about in a lot of his talks, as well as his book on why leaders eat last, which is something I'll be talking a lot more about in other videos. But just know that as a leader, just like in some of the most inspiring classroom environments you've probably been in, think about asking more questions. Think about giving people the ability to express their own ideas instead of dictating what you think is correct first, before then allowing them to take their turn, because then you cast a precedent on what needs to be said and people feel like they're being spoken to, not being asked for their opinion. And as a result, they won't feel as engaged with the discussion and the whole initiative. And as a result, you disempower people. You make them feel like they're tools, there to just do your bidding, instead of people who actually have ideas that can work well. So that's it for this video. That's what I've been thinking about when it comes to leadership, just one facet of what I think leadership is about. So with that, I will see you in the next video.